Have you ever watched documentary footage of the wood transportation process in India during the 1930s to 1940s? Please let us know your thoughts on today's video clip. During the 1930s to 1940s, India was one of the countries with significant increase in timber exploration to meet the demands of the industrial and construction sectors. Before India became an independent country, the local government had the right to manage forests and regulate timber exploration. However, after independence, the central government took over the responsibility of forest management and also had the power to decide on timber exploration. To manage forest resources and timber exploitation, the Indian government established the National Forest Service in 1936. This agency was entrusted with managing all issues related to forest, including timber exploitation. During this time, timber exploitation was mainly carried out by felling trees by hand or by using saws to cut them down. Larger timber exploitations were carried out using machinery. This work required a lot of physical effort and was tiring for the workers. However, with the development of this era, hand saws were an excellent timber exploitation tool. In the 1930s, India was one of the countries that mainly used horses to transport wood from forest to collection yards located below the forest. This task was often carried out by labor groups that were arranged and directed by the government. Horses were used to pull wood carts in areas that were difficult to access, especially in snowy or rainy weather. The use of horse power helped people during this period to save labor in wood harvesting. Using horses to transport wood had many advantages, while other modes of transportation were still quite limited and expensive. Horses were widely available and easy to use. Horses were also able to move on diverse and challenging terrains, and did not cause as much damage to the roads as other vehicles. However, the use of horses also had its disadvantages, including the cost of feeding and maintaining them, as well as the need for experienced and adventurous workers to bring the wood through the difficult-to-access forests. After the wood was brought down from the forest by horses and logging trucks, another means of transportation used to move wood in India during the 1930s by river. This was a popular and efficient way to transport wood to factories and ports. Because of modern equipment was still primitive during this time, transporting large quantities of wood was very limited. Therefore, logging companies during this time often used the method of transporting wood by river. This involved floating the harvest logs downstream to collection points. This method allowed for the transportation of large quantity of wood at one time, while also saving on transportation cost. However, the disadvantage of this method was the floating logs down the river also resulted in the loss of wood resources, as some logs were lost or damaged by colliding with objects in the river. Despite this, transportation by river played an important role in connecting different regions in the country by promoting India's economic development during that time. By the 1930s to 1940s, the volume of wood harvested in India reached millions of cubic meters per year. In the 1940s, there was an important advancement in the process of transporting wood, as the use of conveyor belts and trucks became more common in the transportation of wood. The manual sawing system also became more advanced, with the use of horses for transporting wood still being commonly used in the early 1930s, but now chains and trucks were used to haul wood during this time. This was a significant step forward in the whole process of transporting wood, as it paved the way for scientific and technological developments in the future. It helped the wood transportation process in India move towards a new era. During this time, India had not yet developed significant truck brands as we know them today. Instead, foreign truck companies had a presence in the country and held the majority of the market share. One of the most famous truck companies in India at that time was Bedford, a brand from the United Kingdom that produced high-quality trucks. Bedford trucks were widely used in the logging and wood transportation industries in India. Trucks were used to transport wood, replacing traditional transportation methods such as oxen and horses. The use of trucks brought many benefits to the transporters, including faster transportation speeds and the ability to carry larger amounts of cargo. Although the wood hoisting system during this period was still very primitive, it was a significant transition in the wood transportation process at the time. In the late 1940s, the handheld saw was widely used in wood harvesting industry in India. One of the most popular handheld saw brands at the time was Stihl, a German brand with many years of experience in producing industrial products. Isn't it amazing? What do you think? Please leave a comment below in this video for us. We hope this will be one of your favorite videos, and please share it with your friends. Goodbye and see you in the next videos.